Professor Gorostizaga uncovers the universe's profound secrets, that the Earth is in fact motionless. Professor Gorostizaga warns that many people are not prepared to hear or even read his assertions regarding the universe's origin. Physicist Juan Carlos Gorostizaga is categorical in his assertion, there is no unequivocal proof that the Earth actually moves. This professor of mathematics and navigation at Portugale's Nautical and Mechanical Engineering School, part of the University of the Basque Country, after following, reading, and studying the reflections and experiments of geocentrism scientists in the United States, he has come to the conclusion that scientific evidence and theological knowledge point to the contrary, that it is the universe that gravitates around the Earth. Gorostizaga is a confessed geocentrist, that is, a defender of the idea that our planet is the center of the universe. His astrological view might be quite surprising, but the professor points out that in the United States there is a geocentrist movement with creationist school scientists such as Robert Sungenis and Robert Pennett, who demonstrate beyond any shadow of a doubt that the Earth remains motionless at the very center of the universe's mass, while the firmament, along with all its celestial bodies, including the sun, revolve around it. And what evidence is there to demonstrate it or to support that assertion? The instructor points out that there have been experiments which have yielded results indicating no movement of the Earth. He offers as an example specific test carried out in the mid-19th century, employing recalibrated instruments in an effort to detect and accurately measure the speed of light. However, the outcome of these experiments was entirely negative. He explains what happened in the following way. It's quite similar to when it rains. Water falls straight down, perpendicularly, on the umbrella. But if we begin to move, we then must tilt the umbrella to prevent ourselves from getting wet. The very same thing happens with the telescope. If light moved, there'd be no need to tilt the telescope. Gorostizaga's reflections are compiled in a book titled, Nevertheless, It Does Not Move, which he co-authored with Croatian mathematician Miljenko Bernardic. In the work, the professor insists that no experiment has proven the heliocentric theory, that is, that planets revolve around the sun.
The professor, who also maintains a blog, acknowledges that his particular idea is widely considered a forgotten perspective and has even been unfairly dismissed from the realm of established knowledge. For this very reason, he states that not everyone is truly prepared to listen to what he has to say. However, he assures that he encounters no issues with his students as one of the fundamental principles at the outset of navigation involves using the Earth as a primary reference point.
Gorostizaga is adamant that the Earth neither moves around the sun nor on its own axis, but rather that the firmament as a whole is what moves. In short, it's not a planet because it doesn't move, but it is a precise barycenter of the universe, and due to the gyroscopic effect, it's preserved from all movement. The professor, for whom astronomy is a true passion, presents yet another argument to refute the heliocentric theories that have profoundly shaped science since the Renaissance. The distribution of galaxies provides further proof. Millions of them have been mapped, revealing spherical and concentric layers, just like an onion, and the Earth appears to be located right at the very center. Gorostizaga thinks the correct planetary model is that defended by Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe. His theory proposed that the Earth is located at the center of the universe and it serves as the central point for the orbits of both the Moon and the Sun. Meanwhile, the other planets revolve around the star of the Milky Way. Einstein's trap. The professor confidently believes that the heliocentric theory of the solar system is as false as Darwin's theory of evolution. From the father of the thesis that the Earth revolves around the sun, the Italian Galileo Galilei, he asserts that he was imprudent with his ideas, although he deeply regrets his condemnation. This is from the author of the theory of universal gravity, Isaac Newton. Considers that it lacks credibility as their evidence does not hold up because they cannot demonstrate that the planet moves. And Albert Einstein, that brought a deceptive idea, because he defended the theory of relativity knowing it was false, with a primary goal to hide that the system of Galileo and Copernicus was and is erroneous. We are being deceived because scientists are unwilling to acknowledge their mistakes, he concludes.
So there's been a lot of debate on why our telescopes aren't able to spot the flag that's on the moon. And not just because of the fact that it doesn't exist, but because it's too small and it's too far away. And even when satellites do supposed flybys by the moon, they're still not able to get a clear picture of the flag. But according to your own logic, and how Google tells the truth about everything, some high-resolution telescopes in space can spot houses, particularly military surveillance satellites, and certain commercial Earth observation satellites capable of identifying objects as small as a few inches. So if satellites in space are able to detect things on Earth that are only a few inches big, how come none of these satellites are able to give us a clear picture of these flags? And it shouldn't be as hard as everyone's making it out to be, because there's been like 6 of them. And this is all bullshit anyway, because there are no satellites in space, but this is according to your logic.
If you've ever been in a powerful hurricane with winds of 180 plus miles per hour, you would see how destructive that really is. Like, it obliterates trees and houses and stores. Pretty strong structures get destroyed. So, with that being said, you really think that the Earth is spinning around at 1,000 miles per hour on its equator? That's faster than the speed of sound. Hop in a fighter jet, which I don't know if you'd ever be able to, but start turning it around really sharply. You'll feel how fast 600 plus miles per hour is. So if you're on the ISS, just casually working on the ISS, even though if you actually watch the videos, you'll see that they're not really doing anything. They're just like banging metal together and pretending to be doing important things. But do you really think that the ISS is traveling roughly 22 times faster than the speed of sound? And they're able to just work on it casually, like nothing's going on. No solar radiation destroying everything in its path. I wonder why. What about tornadoes? If you go to the Midwest, some of the most powerful tornadoes maybe hit like 200 plus miles per hour. Oh, they destroy houses. So we're spinning 5 times faster than that on the equator, but we can't feel any of it. Not only that, but the Earth is also moving around the sun at 66,000 miles per hour. But, oh yeah, we can't feel any of it. And then guess what? The solar system is orbiting the galaxy at 500,000 miles per hour, at a speed that is not even comprehensible in the physical realm. But that's how fast we're going. Do you see what they did? They have trained and programmed your mind to accept a completely absurd and false reality so that they can be the gods of this reality that they've created for us.
Okay, this is for my good buddy, he calls himself Laramie out there. He just commented that our Earth spins eastwardly. So here's a little globe model, and there's the arrow going east, right? And so this is the way Laramie says it's going. So, problem with that, either direction, whether I'm going this way or I'm this metal airplane, or I'm flying that way, that's problematic in and of itself. But think of this. You're north and you want to go south. And the world is spinning. You see the world spinning? Let me get higher. You're north and you want to go south. And then if you do get south, far enough down, you're going to end up upside down. That's simple physics. Here's what I know about physics. Scale does not matter. If you can fall off of a little ball, you can fall off of a bigger ball. Also, compasses only work on a flat earth. I've got a magnet in here right now. I take it over here, it's pointing north, true north, all right? I bring it in here, it picks up a closer magnet, duplicating what we see in the real world and how a compass actually works. One direction is I'm going west right now. If I stop and come this way, I'm going east. You can never run into it itself. East doesn't run into west. You just change direction. Now let's talk about latitude and longitude. These are latitudes. The circles in there, those are latitudes. They tell you how far out you're getting from the center of the world. The longitudes, those are the straight lines. Looks like a dartboard. Okay, and there's millions. There's an infinite number of longitudes in between these main points. Do you get it? We live in a flat realm. I've got other videos that prove that we live in a dome, in a container. I've got videos on Bible verses that show how this is all biblical and how God not only supports flat earth, but he made it that way. So Laramie, I hope that cleared up some stuff for you, because this here just doesn't make any sense to anybody. Notice my plumb bob right there? Hasn't moved. Because the world does not move.
Good evening, aloha from Florida. So I was hoping to make it down to the ocean today to shoot this video, but I still wanted to do it. It's about aviation again. You could even call this video Aviation Destroys the Globe Again and Again and Again. So I'm gonna give you 3 resources to look at airplanes and flight and the physics of aviation from the perspective of a flat earther, which flat earth is the only observable objective reality. The globe is just a belief system. It cannot be observed or measured anywhere in reality. So the first resource is Vika Drazev and his documentary called Flatten the Curve. It's full of commercial and military pilots proving the earth is flat and stationary. The second resource is Eddie Alencar and his book, 16 Emergency Landings Proving Flat Earth. If you'd like to see videos on that, check out Eddie's channel on YouTube called Flat Earth Banjo. He's also got a compilation on there of 2.5 hours of pilot after pilot after pilot saying, yeah, we know the earth is flat. The third resource is on Taboo Conspiracy, Ben's channel. The interview he did with Bob, many years ago now, with the F-15 fighter pilot who says, yeah, the earth is flat, and everything that I did in aviation proves the earth is flat when I was a fighter pilot. And he puts a challenge out to the modern day fighter pilots and says, run your radar out 80 miles and see that the bottom altitude does not change because the earth is flat. Now, my 3 points that I bring up to people all the time when they want to say, you can see the curvature of the earth when you're in an airplane. Okay, here's 3 facts from flight. The ADI does not lie. The TOD tells the truth, and the pitch data proves the earth is flat. Most people don't know what the ADI is. That is the attitudinal directional indicator where the gyroscope is housed. The gyroscope references level from where it is set, and it doesn't readjust with gravity or a pressure gradient or anything else. And it doesn't matter how high, how far, how fast an airplane flies. It references level from where it's set. So you set that gyroscope or that ADI in New York, you can fly to California and it'll be flying straight and level through the air over a plane. And the ADI, the gyroscope inside of it, proves it. The TOD, that is the top of descent calculation. When an airplane starts coming down out of the sky to land at an airport, the commercial ones usually about 100 miles away, they have to calculate the flatness of the earth and the stationary, the non-rotating earth. Did you know pilots are taught to assume the earth is flat and non-rotating? Oh yeah, but that's an assumption. It really is curved and it really is spinning. No, they have to assume that as a scientific assumption. That means they have to treat it as it's true. They assume that the earth is flat and stationary. They have to treat the earth as it's flat and stationary. Why? Because it is flat and stationary. Airplanes fly through the air over plane. And then the pitch data, that shows the orientation of the aircraft changing. But once they get to their cruising altitude, the pitch data for thousands of miles at a time does not change. The orientation of the aircraft does not change. So that proves the earth is flat. So those 3 things, the ADI does not lie, the TOD tells the truth, and the pitch data proves the earth is flat, and those 3 resources I mentioned earlier. Have a great night. God bless.
تكنولوجيا أشهدنها
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idialenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.